Recording has begun and okay, all right. You get up early for exercise, huh, Srishti? Okay, good. Is there anybody else in the waiting room? No, I don't think so. Okay, okay. So fine. So let us start. So today, what we are going to look at is we are going to look at an extremely important part of the game called end game, and we are going to do an overview of some key concepts. Okay, so that you will understand how interesting end game is and how important it is. Okay, so extremely important and chess king there is no particular time but normally what I say is similar time like the 8:30 p.m. To 10 p.m. or 10:15 p.m. people can log in when I say chess king, and so I had logged in around 8:35 today, but I didn't see anybody online. So yeah, so maybe after this at 9:35 or 9:40 we'll play some games on chess king. Okay, fine. This meeting will end at 9:30, 9:40. It will end. Okay, and after that we are playing on chess king. Okay, so all right. So let us get going. Some very interesting stuff happens in the end game, and hence, so there are two things. One is end game being much more simpler compared to relatively much less pieces on the board. All right, it is possible to have a perfect knowledge of the end game if you study it properly. Okay, but openings and middle game etc are so complex and there are so many pieces, so many possibilities that it is not possible for anybody to perfectly know the openings or the middle game. Okay, because there are always possibilities which are beyond, but in end game it is like fairly simplified, and hence there are standard direct wins, direct draws, whatever it is, that is it can be fully calculated all the way to the end. And if you know the end games you can actually play it without I mean a lot of it you don't have to think on the board. Okay, so we'll see this and okay, so let me ask a question. Normally in chess you will say that uh, who has the advantage, the one who has got the move? I mean, if you in any position, if I tell you that okay it is your turn to move, is that better? Or if I tell no it is your opponent's turn to move, that is better normally?
Both are not good.
Both are not good or both are good?
Both are good, sir.
Both are good. Okay, okay. Normally you will say that okay, I in any position if I am to move, then obviously it is better, right? More than your opponent to move. Yeah, yeah, that depends, that is
It
right.
depends. Yeah.
Correct, but that's why I'm saying most of the time in opening and middle game you will be happy to have the move, but in end game it all depends, it all depends in end game, huh? Not so much in middle game. uh, Now why it happens is we are going to see it. See, there are certain times the situation happens that whoever is to move, make the move, is actually at a disadvantage. Okay, and he would prefer that, oh I don't want to make a move, I want to pass. But there is no pass possible in chess, and hence you are forced to move, and that may result in you either drawing or either losing a game which otherwise you were drawing, or drawing a game which otherwise you were losing. Okay, so yeah, I mean Vedant, yeah, yeah, that's what you see, that's what you think, but let us see. Okay, now first position here. Okay, tell me, if white is to move, what is the result? You can type in the chat. In this position which is highlighted, white is to move, what is the result? Okay,
So I'm having very bad internet connection.
oh okay, okay. So yeah, okay, so every most of you are saying it's a draw if it's a white to play. Okay, and the reason being that you have to defend the white pawn, which means you have to be in contact with the white pawn, but the only other square that you can be in contact with the white pawn for white is king to e6, but when he plays that, then black gets a stalemate. Yeah, I had sent this, right, you are right, Anj, in the thing. So yeah, but this, that was a general position. Here it is more of a specific what do you call, we are focusing on the end game. Okay, let us say the turn the other way around. Now what if we say that in this position if it is black to move, then what happens? take a time. Okay. Abhinav claims that white will win if it is black. Let us say, Vedansh, you are saying f7, but what does that mean? Okay, Arin is saying white wins. Black, Madhura is saying black to move, white wins. What do you think, Vedansh? Srushti is saying white wins if black is to move. Rishita is saying checkmate. Checkmate will happen, but I think before that, yeah. Shachi is also saying white is winning. Yeah, you're right. Right. If black to move,
Sir,
black.
maybe
Sorry, I think was that Ahan or was that who? Vedansh. I could not hear you. Maybe you want to type. Yeah, checkmate will happen, but I think almost all of you have got it right. Black to move because he cannot pass the move. He cannot go outside the board. He has to play inside the board only. So the only move that is left for him, which he really does not want to play, but is forced to play, is king to f7, and that allows white king to go to d7 in supporting the queening of the pawn, right? And that's how white will queen the pawn, and obviously
Your
after that,
dad?
sorry. Yeah, Vedansh, you were saying something or you were saying to somebody else? Okay. So king f7, king d7 by white secures the e8 square for the pawn to queen with the support of the
I'm
white king.
having very low internet connection, so it's a very. I'm calling my dad.
Yeah, I mean, I can't help it. Okay. Ahan, you have raised a hand. Ahan, what is it? You can say or type.
no, sir. I was trying to open the chat menu actually by mistake. I
Okay,
keep
okay,
on
all right, fine.
those.
So anyway, so this position is called as zugzwang. Okay, zugzwang means the situation where the right to move is becomes an unpleasant burden. If you would rather not want to move, but because there is no such option, you are forced to move. So a situation where playing any move is worse than playing not playing any move at all. That is called as zugzwang. Okay, it's a German word, but it is very important, and I demonstrated it here in this position, but there are many other positions in which it similar thing happens. In fact, even when white is one rook up. Okay, Ahan, again you have raised the hand.
My network good now?
Sorry.
Can you see me and hear me properly?
I am not putting your video. Maybe you can stop your video, Vedansh, so that that will reduce the bandwidth burden, and you can. But yeah, I could hear you
So
better.
when I switched off, it does not work. I don't know why.
Oh, is it? Okay. Okay, no problem. We can hear you now. Okay, so we will go to the second position here. See, here it is like even more stark. White is one rook up, and you know this mate, right? How to mate with the rook, lone rook. But if you see this position, and this happens in all the, I mean, all the single rook mates. Okay, White is not able to win unless he takes advantage of this zugzwang position. Okay, zugzwang is very important. So in this position, let us say what if black is to play, what is the result in the highlighted position if it is black to play? Yeah, Abhinav is saying checkmate if black is to play. Any case, white wins. No, right now, first tell what is if black is to play. Oh, Ahan, you are not able to hear me, but it must be a problem at your end because others are able to hear me. Yeah, Aryan is saying white will win. Yeah, black. Yeah, correct. I think Aryan has given the full line.
White will win, sir.
Yeah. So black, if he plays black plays king to f8, then direct mate is there. Rook to a8, checkmate. If black plays king to h8, then also white goes king to g6. Again, black has got only one move now. Black king to g8, and after that rook to a8 is checkmate. Right. So black to move is he is going to lose it. So now, so he would like to give this up, but there is no option. Okay, if he could pass, then he will be able to draw actually, because white will not be able to corner him if black pawn at will pass the move, but that is not possible.
But there is something called surrender, so he can surrender, right?
Surrender is resign, which means you are accepting that you are lost. That does not mean anything. It is.
Yeah, but he knows he has already lost, so he will.
So but that is as good as losing. Matlab, that doesn't make any difference, right? Whether you resign or you get checkmated, you lose the point, the opponent gets the point. So it is just that. But stalemate is not like that. Stalemate means you get a draw, right?
Is there any way for black to move so that it doesn't get like it doesn't lose or something?
No, in this position, no. In this position, no. And that's
Okay.
what I'm saying. Even if it were black to move, anyway it loses. But even
Yeah.
if it were white to move, then also black loses. Because white will simply move the rook one square away, rook a7 to rook b7, and wait. Because the same position will repeat. If king
If
comes to
if black king moves to what to say f8, then rook will move to
a8 checkmate,
yeah, okay, checkmate, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. If black will play
Not
king
checkmate.
h8,
If it moves to a8, then king can move.
nowhere king
Yeah,
cannot move.
yeah, sorry, I thought white
Yeah.
is.
No, Sai Pranav, no, rook will not go to g7. That's not a good move. If black king goes to h8, you should just move the white king to g6 and wait. That black king has to come back to g8, and after that you can checkmate him on a8. Okay. So you saw in this position also that finally the win happened when black went into a position where he was forced to make a move where he didn't want to make a move, right? So it was like a zugzwang. Okay, so that is the concept of zugzwang. You have to remember it, and I will show you quickly one more example. Okay, one more example of zugzwang. Let us see it here. This one. Oops, I think view is rolling. Yeah, this position. Okay, this position you check it. This is called as mutual zugzwang because whichever side is to make the move is going to lose it. Just look at it for a minute and see.
Sir, if black moves, it moves to c3.
Correct.
If it moves to c3,
White will capture the c5 pawn.
yeah, c5 pawn, and then the king will go on and on and on. But then at
The
one
king
point,
is ahead of the pawn, so it will easily be able to, and black king is behind the pawn, so there is no way black king will be able to block the white pawn. So that pawn will go ahead with the support of the king and it will win.
when you
Okay. Any other move that anything black moves, anything that
if
black
white moves, white will maybe move to what to say yeah, same thing.
same thing.
White king will move to what to say c6, and then the king will capture the c4 pawn, and
Correct.
then it will go on and on and on. At one point, king will be checkmated.
Correct. Whether if white is to move, then white loses. Doesn't matter whether he goes to c6, e6, d6. Doesn't matter wherever it is, he will lose the pawn, and then black will win it. And similarly, if black is to play, doesn't matter what he plays, a3, b3, c3,
At
a4.
one point, he will lose.
He is going to lose it. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is what happens. So this is called as mutual zugzwang because it is not just one party is in zugzwang, both parties are in zugzwang. Now
Yeah,
whichever is the
it can be either color to get a zugzwang.
yeah. Okay. So yeah, ideally you are right. Pranav is right. In such a position, normally you will want, oh, I wish that I didn't have to move. The other side will say, I wish I didn't have to move, but someone will have to move, and that happens. So it you have to be very careful when, and this situation can happen. It has happened in my games. It can happen in your games also. So you have to be very careful what happens because there is a small difference between completely winning and completely drawing the game, or rather in this position completely winning and completely losing the game. One mistake you lose it. If opponent makes one mistake, you can completely win it. Okay, so complete difference is there on a single move, and after that there is no chance, there is no other defense possible if you make a mistake.
So in this other one, the maximum possibility the king might get a stalemate in that
No,
second.
there is no in this position. There is no stalemate possible.
No, sir, not in the one of next to it on the right side.
That I'm yet to give. So okay, so I'll come now. So if you have got this, then I will go to the next concept called as fortress. Okay, fortress is a concept when one side has a very big material advantage, but still it cannot win. It cannot make progress. It cannot checkmate the opponent's king due to the peculiar nature of the position. Okay, so even though it has a lot of advantage, it is no use, and game ends in a draw as long
No,
as
but that is, it depends, right? It depends.
no. So of course it depends. That's why I'm saying that some position. It is not that everywhere, right? So it is a position in which this is happens. This is true. That is called as a fortress. Okay,
Okay.
we'll see the example. This is an example of a fortress.
The bishop is the overwhelming material advantage.
Yeah, because black has got an extra pawn and an extra bishop. Okay.
Yeah.
So if it was only extra bishop, you already know it is not good enough to win, right? But if it has got a pawn also which can potentially queen, as well as it can help to checkmate, even if not queening, and yet in this position, in this particular position, black cannot do anything to the white king as long as white defends properly.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we will see this position very quickly. Mutual fortress, rook pawn. Yeah, this is the position. See here, no matter what happens. Okay, suppose if it is black to play, he plays bishop to c4. White king, okay, will
B2.
go to b2. Okay, b2 and a1. Between these, he will keep playing. What
King
does
D2.
black? King d2, king d2, then king a1. Okay. Now, if king c2,
If
then it's a stalemate.
which king's the white king?
If king c1, then also it's a stalemate. If
Yeah.
black plays, what can black play? Black can play his pawn here at the
Or,
most.
yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then you will move this. Then
Then bishop to what is that? D3.
okay, white king goes here.
Then you can, what else you can move? So you can move your bishop again back to c4.
Okay, then again king comes back again.
Then you move the pawn.
Move your pawn in front.
Okay, move your pawn in front.
Oh, no.
Okay, let that block for now. Now you move your king to c2.
Stalemate.
Uh,
This is a stalemate.
Oh yeah, it is.
Okay. Yeah, it's a theoretical draw, and the reason being you should be able to look at this, and you should be able to in 1 second you can actually tell that it's a draw without having to calculate, because in such positions the pawn, the queening square of the pawn, it's a dark square, right? And the bishop is of a light square.
Light square. So it's
So
not
because it's a
possible.
wrong colored bishop, okay, so black will not be able to push white
So the bishop
king
should
out
have
of that
been a
corner.
dark color square. Then it would
Yeah,
have.
it should be that bishop should be of the same color of the queening square of the pawn. Okay, when it is a rook pawn, okay, when it is not a rook pawn, then it is a completely different position. Okay, so then white will simply lose it. If this pawn was not on the a file but it was on the b file, suppose b, c, d, e, f or g, any of those, okay, then white would have simply lost this. Even if the pawn was on h file, then also white would have lost it, because then the h1 square, queening square, would be light square, which is controlled by the black bishop. So black bishop will be able to force the white king out of that h1 square with a check, and then the pawn will queen, and hence that would rather become a win most likely. But in this particular position, this is called as a this is a draw, because you cannot really push the, like, king has gone into a corner and you cannot take him away. You can at the most stalemate him. Okay, so this is a fortress, we call it, because black has overwhelming advantage. 4 points ahead, one piece plus one pawn, but there is nothing to be done. Okay, so this you got it, fine. So we will go back now, and we will go back to our this one. So this is called as a fortress. I have one more example to show of a fortress. Okay, we will see. This is an even more what do you call stark example. You just looking at it, you feel white should be winning this. Not only he has got two pawns, connected pawns. One is almost on the 7th rank, ready to get queened. Okay, king is also in good position. Yeah, it would be different in this case. This is a different, but here, yeah, but see, in spite of having a connected passed pawn, ready to queen, there is nothing that really white can do. If white plays king to d7, sorry, king to e7, then it's a stalemate directly, right? Because black king does not have any square to move, so white king cannot really play king to e7. He has to play something else, but doesn't matter.
Black can't move anything.
Okay, let us see this position. Wait, it is not thing. So this position. Okay, you tell me what is the if it is okay right now white to play. Tell me what is the white. Here it is. He's playing. White is playing bishop c3, king f7, and even if white tries this, it still does not help. But let us say you want to play this, you can play whatever you want. Tell me a white's move if you are playing white.
If I'm playing white, I would have moved no. I would move king to e7.
Then it's a draw, no? Then it's a stalemate. Black king does not have any square to move.
Okay, then in that case, I will move my bishop to f6.
Bishop to f6. Okay, new variation. King to f7.
King to e5.
King to e5. Then king to g8.
Okay.
Black king's strategy is very simple. f7, g8. g8, f7. That's all he's going to move it. You cannot really prevent him from doing that. If you try to prevent, then only way it can happen is it will remain stuck on g8. It cannot come to f7, in which case it's a stalemate.
Okay. Then sir, move the bishop to d8.
Okay, move the bishop to d8. Fine. King to f7.
Okay. From there.
Yeah, sacrifice. Tell me, Pranav, what you want to sacrifice? You can only sacrifice a pawn here, right?
Yeah, just sacrifice the pawn.
Okay, now itself g8.
Yeah.
Okay, black king takes it. Then
So then you move the black king in front. Sorry, white king in front to e6.
e6.
Yes, sir.
E6, you fine. E6 fine. So
Stalemate then. No, it's not. It's not.
Then you
the bishop to e7.
bishop to e7. King to
Bishop to f6.
bishop to f6.
Every time we move the bishop now, it's going to move back and front, back and front. So we'll move g8, f8, g8, f8, g8, f8.
G8 f8, correct. Either g8 f8 or g8 f7, depending on where the black king is. There is nothing you can do, no matter what you do.
Yeah. It looks like white can win, but theoretically it can't win.
Correct. Optically, it does look like it, but it is not. No matter what you want, you just cannot throw away the. Time wins. No, but time wins. There are rules in place, huh? Pranav. So in all the blitz games, rapid games, etc., if there is a theoretical draw and you are only trying to win on time, you cannot actually win it. Opponent can claim it and say he can claim a draw, and he in this position, suppose if I had 10 seconds and you had 60 seconds on the clock, okay, now and I'm making these moves back and forth, you are not able to checkmate me, but I'm going to still, yeah, you may think that I will still lose on time, but no, that rules prevent it. Rules say that you cannot win just based on time. Okay, you have to have a theoretical winning chance, and then you can say I want to continue, and then I will win. Where is the thing? Uh, and you can do it, but otherwise if there is no theoretical chance, let us say only two kings are left, and still you have one side has got 1 minute, other side has got 5 seconds. Now you can say that, oh, kings are there, I will keep playing the kings. No, and I will win it finally. No, that is not possible. You have to have a theoretical winning chance for you to win on time also. Otherwise, it's a draw. Okay, very important to know, because very soon you may be playing online tournaments, this, that, etc. So you should know these rules. Okay, fine. We have seen 5 positions. Now let me just show you. So now you have understood what is the meaning of a fortress. I have just shown you very simple examples, but there are other examples more complicated. Sometimes even with a queen extra, and maybe the other side has got only a bishop or a rook, still you are not able to win it. That may happen. Okay, it's fine. The last important concept to understand in endgame is that sometimes you have to sacrifice material to win in the end game. You cannot just hold on to the material and win it, but the win becomes much more easier and in fact practical only if you sacrifice the material in a particular position. Okay, so we'll see that example. See, this is a position, okay, and white to play. Okay, so in this position, so yeah, in this position, white to play. White has got 2 pawns, black has got 1 pawn, so obviously winning chance is only for white. So who can how can you win this? Okay, I'll show you. I mean, yet I have not taught this type of endgame, so I don't expect it. But see, you have to finally, this f6 pawn is what white's f6 pawn is a trump that he has. He should be able to escort it down to the f8 square and then queen it, and then white will win it, right? But how does it go about? Just the rook is not enough for the pawn to support, because the black king is blocking the f8 square. Okay, so and if rook checks the king on f8, then black rook king will come to f7 and block the pawn. Okay, so king g6. Now only thing is that king g6, black this position, what happens is black will, sorry, here new variation, black will simply take this pawn, and after that again it is not possible.
Yeah.
So king g6 you cannot do it. Okay, king e6 you can try it. King e6 also, what happens is,
Can you move pawn f6 to f7?
we'll see that, but first we'll see. That will not exactly help, but if king moves to e6, then black rook starts checking the king. Okay, so it is not going to help. Then the king will have to go away. If it goes away, then immediately black king attacks the pawn. Black rook attacks the pawn. Then king will have to again come and defend the pawn. If it defends again, black rook will give the check. At the most, king will come back. If that is the comeback, then again you have come back to the original position, right? So you have not made any progress. So this is what happens. But okay, let me see. Hear your thing. I hear your thing. What you are saying is that you want to do the f7 pawn now itself, right?
No, not like that. Can you go before where when the what to say? The king was at g6.
Yeah, king g6, rook takes g4.
Yeah, okay. Then after that move,
King f5, rook g1. Now you want to play f7.
no sir, there was some move where the the rook was at f2 and your the king was at g6. There was
So
some
that
move
was
like
only
that.
king at g6, then it was only this one. Rook
Yeah,
takes g4.
yeah. Oh, then that happens. Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
So there is nothing before this.
I
Even
was
if now
thinking
after this,
when
if
that
you play
pawn
f7,
was
if you play
there,
f7
when
now
that
also, then black rook will check the king. Now king moves somewhere else, then the pawn will fall. So
can
king has
king
to
move
either
to
go to
e6.
e6, then check again.
Okay. Then what else can we move? Then this king moves again back to f6.
Then again check.
Okay. I thought if your king moves that side, the
Then
what
also
is it?
check again.
Rook will directly the what is it? The rook will directly go and kill the pawn at f7, and then the white rook will come and kill that.
Nah, but no. First he will drive the king away. If
Yeah.
king takes this pawn here, then
Then
thank you.
yeah.
Then this. Then the king is cut off from the pawn, and then next move, rook will take the pawn, and then it's a draw.
Yeah.
Okay. So okay. So let me. I think we have only few minutes left. So I'll show you what is the solution, and again we'll see it. The only solution at this point of time is to sacrifice the white pawn by playing g5. Okay, g5. Now see what happens. If black pawn takes it, then that black pawn itself is used as an umbrella by the white king, and he goes behind that pawn, so that the rook can no longer check the king because the black pawn is interfering. Okay, so this is like an umbrella. He uses it, and then it will force it. Okay, so now the next thing is that white is threatening checkmate, rook to b8, because the king does not have any square. Black king does not have any square to move. So black rook has to go to e1 to get into the to block the check. But then white will still give the check. Black will put the rook. It will only move. Rook takes rook. King takes rook. King g7. Now white king is supporting the pawn to come to f8 in two moves. Doesn't matter what black moves. Check. King comes up, and is queen. Right, after queening, obviously it is all one. Right, so this is what happens. And if so all of this happens because black takes the pawn with the thing. But if black does not take the pawn with the thing, black takes the pawn with the rook. This is also possible, right? Already we have seen it here. Then king now goes to e6. Now again there is a threat of checkmate. Okay, now black rook is not in a position to check the king. See, now black rook cannot go to e5 and check, because king will simply take it. Now it is not distant. It is not having that distance from the king to safely check. Okay. So what happens is, now black king is forced to go to g8. Otherwise there is a checkmate that is coming. So king to g8. Now rook b8. Now obviously king has got only one move. King goes to h7. Now you play f7. Now there is nothing you can do. Now white pawn is going to queen it no matter what. At the most, black rook will have to sacrifice itself against the pawn. But if that is the case, then white still has got his rook and he is going to checkmate. Okay. So this is how the end game plays out. Very interesting positions, right? We saw all kinds of things. We saw that Zugzwang, when having the
So can we play the matches on chess game?
yeah. In 1 minute now we are ending it. So I'm just summarizing it. So yeah, so we saw Zugzwang, then we saw Fortress, and now we saw the sacrifice being the only way possible to win. Otherwise, try to not without sacrifice, if you play, then there is no way you can win this position. Okay, so all kinds of interesting things happen, but you have to have a lot of theoretical knowledge and hence lot of practice. So next week I'm going to give you some exercises which otherwise you would never have done. You would have said that no, what is this, I don't want to do this is boring, etc. But that's why I've made it interesting by telling you all these interesting things that can happen in the end game. But the only way to master it is like with a very hard study, and that is what you are going to do next session. Okay, all right, that is all I had. Now we are ending it and we are ready to go to Chess King play zone. I am also there online. Okay, I'm going to end the meeting. Okay, bye everyone.
Bye, sir.
Bye. I'm there online on Chess King. Do challenge me.